let me welcome you to my channel. Before we begin the video, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe and like this post. Stephanie McMahon and Triple H were officially a WWE couple in late 1999, but their on-screen romance came to an end when the game, Romance, which, after 3 years, takes place in maybe the most striking instances throughout the background of the firm in the year 2002 a return to WWE television for H followed. A protracted absence, a setback, but upon his return, he was experiencing problems with his fictional wife, while the second group believed the game was set up to go from her. She insisted dishonestly that she was trying to hold on to her pregnancy spouse as the princess with the billions of dollars. Strategy was successful. The pair elects to extend at a solemn ceremony that took place on Monday evening during that year's Raw on February 11th. According to Stephanie, the event was going to begin a new phase in her marriage with the Matchy incident. Before making their way to the ring, a call came in to Triple H's narrative-in-law's mother, Laurel McMahon, when she informed him that the physician, the daughter's employer, was an actress and it was not a pregnancy billion-doll princess. However, the current WWE Chief Operating Officer proceeded the ring to participate in, and while all eyes were on him, he delivered the vows he had named his fictional spouse. Deceiver, divulging his whole knowledge, choose to dissolve the marriage at this point. At the same time, my marriage to Stephanie has ended. As Triple H said in the part 547 through 606 of the game's destruction, assaulted Stephanie's dad on set. He was knocked out by Vince McMahon with the lineage. Subsequently, he pulled his wife down, the band off his finger, and tossed it aside. Stephanie McMahon made the decision at her it as her most unforgettable WWE almost 12 years ago in the Raw Hello Stephanie. They wanted McMahon to choose her most poignant moment on Monday Night Raw due to, at its 1000th anniversary party, the corporation Red Brand episode All 100,000. Little Duel reminisced about her in Triple that it was said during H's vow renewal ceremony stood up as a vivid memory for her. Stands as a result of our basic materials. Atop the altar, while I tenderly offer my committed to my spouse in matrimony, and at the time, when the moment arrived, he would continue his eternal, boundless devotion to me in his words, much as he had imagined. It was my most vivid recollections of Raw on Monday night. She said that 047 to 137. This plot continues almost a year later. Stephanie McMahon just tied the knot with Triple H. Actually, the happy pair plans to fade coming up next month on their 21st anniversary. The headlines were shock in the wrestling world, echoing across all of the nation's news outlets. Business. This union is about WWE's Triple H, Chief Content Officer, publicized in a serious manner to a room full of reporters, his voice resonating with intensity as he said, persisted in the atmosphere like a sentence of death, an impact that echoed throughout the whole WWE interstellar romance between him and Stephanie McMahon is a dynamic duo in the game that represented the essence of the WWE, was winding down a foundation for decades, based on grappling, nobility for a long time. The relationship that Paul and Triple H is the world's knowledge of Levesque, which Stephanie McMahon seemed to forever unbreakable. Needless to mention that they had an intimate relationship, but their union had also became well recognized as part of WWE's authority within the realm of sports entertainment. Globe, the daughter of Vince, the chairman of WWE, and the cerebral McMahon and the actors pair were real power brokers, striking a balance between corporate and creative reign all throughout the world. They connectedness that developed from in 1999 expanded from an on-screen plot to it was one of the most famous romances in WWE history. After a connection with bated exhale, particularly when assuming an attitude, seasons when Cody and the real world often collided, their narrative grew in prominence as time went on. In comparison to any plot that the business may plot, the mechanism of action and influence. The duo had tremendous sway over. In the WWE scene, Triple H was more than. As a wrestler, he had integrated into the cog inside the company's innovative system. Stephanie, meantime, assumed control of WWE's logo and public perception. As time went on, the company transformed into the worldwide craze today, however, as the years passed, rumors started to surface. Their increasing physical separation, the heightened stress of managing $1 billion firm aspirations, crashing into loved ones' duties, but none had foreseen future steps for the media. Announcement during the conference. Unexpectedly, in the middle of what was initially presumed to be an ordinary media event for WWE, Triple H was about to talk about things like events, hiring, and company's relentless growth into the world's marketplaces. However, as he stepped center stage, a palpable air of suspense pervaded, exuded the customary calm assurance. Manner in which admirers and co-workers was absent instead of what one would have thought, seemed solemn in his gaze. A Triple H held the podium firmly as she inhaled deeply. The same way he started out today, it's not about impending events or matches that I am aware of. Everyone was waiting for developments. However, I must tackle a more intimate matter. He briefly held his breath as his voice wavered. Let it be known that Stephanie and I have spent time together throughout their lives. This industry for more than 20 years. We've common victories, difficulties, and absolutely single item in. Regardless, the room became quiet as we made the most difficult choice of our lives, ending our marriage, suitable for the purpose of photographing. At the very time that newsmen sat in shocked astonishment, uncertain whether they were bearing testimony to another plot or in the here and now. This isn't a simple choice, as Triple H persisted. Apparent effort to suppress the feeling, danger of making a breakthrough. We have gave this a lot of consideration for the last year, and while we deeply cherish every just another thing that life and our journeys, used in a different way, directions in the background, had difficulty during the announcement, unwittingly caught several close friends inside. The WWE has seen the beginnings of problems. Managed WWE for a considerable amount of time was not simplicity following Vince McMahon's questionable return to work after semi-retirement. Stephanie was subjected to additional strain, and Triple H, to maintain the ship's buoyancy, additional duties placed a significant strain on. Triple H had a plan for each of them. The artistic direction of WWE is centered on developing future leaders via NXT, growing the business's reach on a global scale, and challenging convention. Imaginative Stephanie, in contrast, prioritized keeping up with company's reputation in the public eye, particularly given the prevalence of consideration and an ever-evolving. It was well known that the entertainment industry, that the two often disagreed on leadership of the organization. On the board, engaged in contentious discussions over which one to put first, the more recent innovative skills, or uphold the company's portrayal that is suitable for families. These experts' problems began to creep into their in-office workdays, increased the duration of family meals into their relationship, which was once brimming with joy, and the merging of aspirations into a battlefield of conflicting. There were whispers of ambitions that the rigorous workplace had consumed them. Union, with some speculating that the exertion required to follow Vince McMahon's enormous footfalls had pushed an interpersonal chasm that separates the thought that the Triple H's health scare occurred when he had a heart attack in 2022 had transformed him from the inside out, compelling to reevaluate his goals, ponder his life's trajectory. Unanimous agreement as Triple H addressed, convey the message that this choice was created not from hatred, but from between us. We've always been able to, said that his family is his first priority. Increasingly resolute, his voice